Morning, Happy New Year.
Good morning.
Morning, Sandra.
So the video is started. Jane, you can go ahead.
All right. Good morning, everyone. This is the regular council meeting of the Township of South Algonquin on Wednesday, January 13th, 2021. And we are commencing our meeting at 9:02. I would call the meeting to order at 9:02. I wish everyone a Happy New Year, and I hope that we have a good night, 2021. And I will not do the roll call because I have determined by video that all council members are present, that being Councillor Collins, Councillor Florent, Councillor Bongo, Councillor Shala, and Councillor Vermeer are all present at this meeting. Are there any additions or amendments to the meeting? There is one amendment to the committee staff report section. We will be adding item number 5, which is the library report by the CEO, Charlene Alexander. That came in after the package was distributed. With that amendment, I would ask approval of the agenda, and I have that moved by Councillor Vermeer and seconded by Councillor Collins. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin adopts the agenda circulated for the regular council meeting of January 13th, 2021. All in favor? And I'll have to call the vote because I can't see the members. So Councillor Collins?
For.
Councillor Florent?
For.
Councillor Harper?
For.
Councillor Bongo?
For. I did have a question about. I wonder if there's potential to add under unfinished business. We never really discussed the Cross Lake dock at all, and I was wondering, and I don't think that we've also responded to that resident as well. So I don't know if that could be added.
I think the intent there, Councillor Bongo, is that will go to the Asset Management Committee meeting to discuss, and then a response would be indicated at that time.
Okay, certainly, great. But otherwise, yes, I approve the agenda, yes.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Shala?
Yes.
And Councillor Vermeer?
For.
All right, so it is carried. Item number 4 on the agenda is disclosure of pecuniary interest. Is there any member of council wishes to disclose pecuniary interest? Hearing none. Item 5, petition delegations or presentations. The South Algonquin Business Association has made a request to discuss the mapping project. I see from their delegation request form that, first of all, I will introduce the one member that I know who is present, and that would be Gabriella Habidarian.
Jane, if you could just hold on, I'm just gonna let them in from the waiting room. It'll just take me a second.
Okay, fine, thank you.
I believe it's Evelyn and Gabriella.
Okay, I'll confirm that. Thanks.
Hi, is that you, Evelyn?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. I'm just going to rename your iPhone thing so it comes up as you. Okay, go ahead, Jane.
All right. So we are at item 5 on the agenda, petitions, delegations, presentations, and we do have a presentation from the South Algonquin Business Association in regards to the mapping project. On the delegation request form, I do have Gabriella Harabetti, and I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, the chair of the South Algonquin Business Association, and the second attendee, I'm sorry, who is the second attendee from the Business Association?
Evelyn.
And the last name?
Lesage.
Okay, thank you. All right, so welcome. And Gabriella, are you going to be the spokesperson for the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So Holly has the mapping project feedback item up. I would just ask Carla We have 15 minutes for this presentation. Could you just give me the heads up when there are 2 minutes left for the presentation?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Go ahead, Gabriela.
Okay, good morning. I'm Gabriela Herevedian, the chair of SABA. We are here with Evelyn presenting a delegation regarding the mapping project. First of all, I would like to thank you for validating the mapping idea. Thank you very much for doing that. Since the purpose of this grant is to support the small businesses, and considering that this mapping idea was brought forth from SABA as part of the grant proposal, we believe our input is essential. I understand from the communication at the Economic Development Meeting dated May 20, 2020, Council made the decision to target day trippers with the information provided on this map. You might be surprised to know that in 2017, less than 40% of visitors to the Nipissing district, including North Bay, were day trippers. We don't have statistics on South Algonquin specifically. By my estimation, it is far fewer than maybe 5 to 10%. Based on our experience as tourism operators, most of our clients come from a minimum of 3 hours away, GTA and Ottawa, whether they are domestic or international travelers. Mostly travelers that are not familiar with rural areas and want to explore and visit as many places as possible in their short period of time. If they have access to a visual map with attractive pictures on where to find these attractions, tourists will consider a stay longer in our township and contribute to our economy. Instead of just go to the park for a day and they go home and stay in South Algonquin just to sleep and have a quick lunch. If day trippers are the focus, you are building a wayfinding tool that applies to a market that doesn't currently exist and which will take us a generation and more to rebuild. So as a result, we are requesting some changes to the map. If you can go to the next slide. To remove all businesses and places tourists can't and shouldn't visit. Second, to focus on natural features and sport opportunities. Third, to link to other helpful sources. Four, to add a scale so people can judge distance. I'll go to the next one, please. To remove the businesses entirely. Why? Because the map is less cluttered and won't go out of date as fast. No need for the staff to track permissions or update. Township remains neutral towards businesses and advertising. Up-to-date businesses information is easily available to tourists through Google. SABA will maintain current business list and PDF maps. See QR codes slide. And you can label Wynyard Madawaska as downtown. Okay, you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so the second point is remove places tourists can't visit, like the daycare, unemployment resource center, township office, library. Oh, the libraries are mapped twice. I don't know if you noticed, you can take a look at the map. The fire and police stations, you can include an emergency number instead. And the recreation centers, unless you want the visitors there. Why? Because the tourists can use this information. Locals already know where to find these services. Information may mislead tourists into thinking services are available there, like the fire or police. Add a reminder that emergency services are available by dialing 911. And advertising, you can put workplaces at risk, like for example, the daycare. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, I would remove images that have no informational value, like the photos of children, photos of businesses, dead ends, and private roads. Why? Because these images don't tell tourists anything about what they can do while they are here. They may obscure important information, or worse, they can mislead people, and they may put people at risk. Okay, the next slide, please. Sorry if I'm going too fast. Okay. You can focus on adding markers that highlight natural features and sport information across the season, like all seasons. that aren't easily found on Google. And please respect the Algonquin land claim, but not advertising trails that lead to proposed Algonquin territory. Locals already know how to get there, and we don't need to send tourists there. I noticed that it's hard to find some access points, like the Algonquin Provincial Park, Upper Madawaska Provincial Park, Opiongo Provincial Park, Hay Lake parking. So we add electric vehicles charging station, but that should be removed because, again, can be Googled that. So ignore that part. And please mark natural features like trails and sport opportunities, like the waterfall, dams, beaches, skating, sledding, sunrise, sunset locations. And if you can, would be nice if you can put some, assign some fishing spots. We are asked all the time about some fishing spots, and would be nice if you assign maybe two in Madawaska, two in Whitney, so we don't have visitors all over the place trying to go fishing, and the local can have their own fishing spots that usually did it for years. And we can, you can add the stargazing spots, bird watching, rail trail, ATV, snowmobile trails, hiking, biking, skiing trails, snowshoeing, horseback riding, etc. I put some bolded items, and because this is the items that the tourists keep asking us all the time, like where can go fishing, where can see the sunset, where is the beach, this constantly keep asking, so that's why I bolded. Okay. Okay, so you can go to the next slide, please. So I add some photos in here for both Madawaska and Whitney of examples of use all season photos of actual places that people can actually visit. And please, if you can map them. So they can go to the beach, they can go to Barclay Beach to see the Madawaska River or the Bone Lounge or sunset at the beach in Whitney. That would be really, really nice, because if people are sitting and see these beautiful images, attractive images, they can go there and they may decide while they're having a quick dinner or whatever at the cabins or the wherever they are, you know, hotel or motel, wherever they are, they can see that and they can plan the next day. And sometimes they want to stay in the extra night just for visiting. And they already drove 300 kilometers from Toronto, and they want to stay here another night, and they can plan, and they say, I want to do something local. They keep saying that all the time. Where can I go? So that would be a nice example when they're, you know, they're sitting and planning for the next day. So that's the thing you can add. You can go to the next slide, please. And we can use QR codes to provide up-to-the-minute information the tourist needs. You can just simply point your camera at the code and you can visit the website. And I put the SABA website. We can put a list of businesses like currently can be continuously updated. The Explorer's Edge, we have a lot of information there, all trails, the ATV, snowmobile maps, the Spectacle Lake maps, the trail maps, and you can add the township website, the township social media, the Algonquin Park website. So, you know, the same thing, when people are there, they can just put the camera and they plan things for the next day, go wherever. Or they need something from the township, just go to the website, and it will be easier to go that route, that way, and you can change it. I mean, update it. Okay, and the next point, if you can add the scale, you can go to the next, thank you. You can add the scale so tourists can judge the distance, because the reason is it takes about 40 minutes to drive from one end to the township to the other. If there is no scale, tourists will have no way to judge how far anything is. And that's another thing people keep asking again, how far is the park, how far is, and they get a little bit confused. So that would be nice to add that too. Finally, I would like to ask, if possible, if the council please implement a policy that builds a feedback process into future economic development projects. These decisions affect businesses most at all, and we want to be involved. We really appreciate if you can do that. That would be really good. Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if you have any questions. That basically is my presentation. It's very easy, quick, and to the point.
Thank you, Gabriella. It is an excellent presentation and very visually pleasing as well. The work that you and your Evelyn and your committee have done is excellent. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Normally with delegations, I give council members the opportunity to just clarify anything that may have been made in the presentation. So I would put that open to council at this point. Is there anything that you would require further clarification or expansion on?
I have a question. Are we allowed to ask questions?
Well, we're not going to debate it, but is there anything you need clarified, Councillor Bongo?
Anything clarified? I guess I think everything's pretty clear. I was a little surprised to see the suggestion behind having no businesses appear on the map, but at the same time, I suppose that is one way to really level the playing field and have it very fair towards all businesses. Yeah, at the end of the day, I really hope that this map is well designed and a lot of thought goes into it. Super.
So
Any other?
I would just like to clarify that Gabriella, when you're saying no businesses, so we haven't put any businesses on the map at this point. You're suggesting that you don't want to see that you can buy groceries in Whitney and Madawaska, or that you can go to the LCBO in those two locations, or that you can buy fuel or food or accommodations anywhere. You just don't want to see anything to do with private industry on the map at all.
Yes, exactly. It's just to be a map that shows the attractions. So when people come here, they're gonna say, where's the beach? Because, when you grab your phone and you Google LCBO near me, or you can put, gas station near me, takes you very easily. And there's usually people don't ask for questions like that. They say, oh, I know, I can get it. But they say, where's the beach? Where can I go fishing? Where is the, things like that? They don't know. And so that's why it's nice to have, and it's nice to create a unique map. Something is not anywhere to be found. And we don't want to bring confusion either. We don't want people all over the place and to go, to private roads or whatever. So it's nice to it's the way to guide them and take them wherever we want to go and not where we don't want them to go, basically. So that's the thing. And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I cut you off. And just to clarify, we have taken all the private roads off. So I don't know if it was an older version of the map that you were maybe looking at, but we had made effort to take the anything that was considered private has been taken off.
Okay, and those clip arts, I'm not sure if you want to, for example, I can see that fishing part is, they put some art at the bottom, like if somebody goes and see that, maybe they say, oh, maybe that's the way we can go fishing. It's completely out of the town. You can see it's basically in main news, basically out of the border of, another thing is not the presentation. It would be nice to add is put Barry's Bay, to Barry's Bay, because some people, especially here in Madawaska, some people come from there to Ottawa and Barry's Bay. Put all the points. Since you're putting main news and Bancroft, you can put Barry's Bay and Ottawa too, so people get, more idea where things are.
Right. Thank you.
Are there any other comments or points of clarification? Gabriella, I have a question, and I'm not sure of the membership of the SABA organization, and that all businesses, not just accommodation and resorts, but I just wonder, who is your membership at SABA?
Right now we have a limited number of members, but we have to work on it. We have to work on it to see. We're working on the website, and if we are gonna exclude all the businesses, we are gonna work on it to see how we're gonna integrate them, and we have to be to the minute. Any new businesses sometimes change hands, they change names, they change locations. There is a bunch of things going on, constantly with businesses. So it's important to keep it up to date.
Right, and I have gone to some websites in different areas where they have maps, and you indicated in your presentation about keeping the business list current, and that's my concern. If it's only SABA members, then very important resources in our community, such as a pharmacy, may not be there if they are not a member of SABA. So I really want to take this presentation back to the Economic Development Committee meeting that we have coming up this month, because it's our responsibility as council to represent all members of our community and all businesses. So I think what you've given to us from SABA perspective is very good, but we have to balance that with the businesses and community enterprises that are not represented by SABA as well. So that would be my suggestion to council, that we take this with us to economic development and look at it under those criteria at that meeting.
Okay, I can give you an answer on that on the next, if we can participate on that committee, that will be really good, and we can give you an answer.
And I
can be included.
And we will talk a bit later about the Economic Development Committee meeting, which is in in Holly's report. And I think something that I would suggest at that point is that certainly if council members had, perhaps if you were agreeable, had any questions in regard, specific questions in regards to SABA, such as membership, etc., that we put that to you before that meeting and give you the opportunity perhaps to know what questions we have in regards to that.
Okay, so we can participate in that committee and give you that information. That would be great.
I will confirm that when we discuss your participation at the committee, when we discuss that in regards to that meeting, but and we will get back to you on that for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Any other members have a question? You've given us a great deal of food for thought through your committee, and we appreciate it very much, Gabriella.
Thank you.
Thanks. Holly, I'll leave you to do what you have to do to get us back to the meeting portion.
Thank you, ladies. That was a great presentation, a lot of work. We will be talking about it later on. And oh, Gabriella's already left. And Evelyn, I'm just going to send you back to the waiting room and you can log off as well. Thank you. She's gone. Okay. Okay.
I can still see Gabriella there.
Still here.
I have difficulty sometimes getting out of meetings as well, so I'm usually the last one to go. Okay, thank you, Holly. You've taken us back to our agendas. So we are now going to go into item 6 on our agenda, minutes of previous meetings. And I have the resolutions following below. So I will begin with the first resolution. I have that moved by Councillor Florent and seconded by Councillor Shalla. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the regular council meeting of December 2nd, 2020 as circulated. And I would call the vote on that. Councillor Collins?
For.
Councillor Florent?
For.
Councillor Harper?
For.
Councillor Bongo?
For.
Councillor Shalla?
For.
Councillor Vermeer?
For.
That resolution is carried. Thank you. We'll go to the next one. Which one is that? Waste management. Okay, sorry. Did you, okay, asset management. Okay, thank you, Holly. I have that resolution moved by Councillor Harper, seconded by Councillor Bongo. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the Asset Management Committee meeting of November 25th, 2020 as circulated. Calling the vote, Councillor Collins?
For.
Councillor Florent?
For.
Councillor Harper?
For.
Councillor Bongo?
For.
Councillor Shalla?
For.
Councillor Vermeer?
For.
That resolution is carried. The next resolution, this is the moved by Councillor Collins, seconded by Councillor Florent. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the Waste Management Committee meeting of November 25th, 2020 as circulated. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
Four.
Councillor Harper,
Four.
Councillor Shalla,
Four.
Councillor Vermeer.
Four.
That's carried. Okay, the next resolution is, I haven't got someone here, moved by Councillor Collins and seconded by and Councillor Florent. Be resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the Emergency Services Committee meeting of November 25th, 2020 as circulated. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
Four.
Councillor Harper,
Four.
Councillor Bongo,
Four.
Councillor Shalla,
Four.
and Councillor Vermeer.
Four.
It's carried. Thank you. We are now in item 7 of the agenda. Are there any committee reports? I didn't see any. So we would go into staff reports. And
And I do have a report from, from the libraries. Did you want me just to do it within my report?
I did add that, Holly, into the, where did I add that? Oh, into the staff reports I put it.
Okay.
So we can do it there, which is just where we are at this point. Sorry, I've just lost my notes here, which is unfortunate. Okay. All right. Okay. So the first staff report that we have in our package is from the fire chief. And Holly, can you pull those up for us?
I'm just,
Okay. So we have Chief Kruger's report here. Are there any questions in regards to that report? Hearing none. All right. The second report that we have is, Holly, I believe is your staff report. Is that correct? Is yours the next one?
no, this next one is
Jennifer.
it's just a property tax write-off from Jennifer, yes.
This is a staff report from the Deputy Treasurer, as you say, in regards to a tax write-off, which will come up in resolutions later. Any questions on that from council?
I just have a really quick question.
Go ahead, Councillor Bongo.
So essentially, the way I understand the report is that there was is a piece of land. We were collecting tax from the Ontario government, and now it's been confirmed that it is Crown land, so it's not taxable. And that's basically a summary of the situation, correct?
Well, it was a land use permit, and so what we determined in this process is that the ministry gives us no understanding of when they stop land use permits with the public. So they end them and then they tell MPAC, and years later we find out. So this one specifically was finished in 2014. We just kept taxing them, they kept paying, and then eventually they said no more. So what we really uncovered was that there's no process for the MNR to start or stop land use permits. They just kind of do them as they wish.
Okay, great. And is it a hunt camp or something like that?
I have no idea. It could be a boat or a boathouse. It could be, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the role.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I guess this is pretty routine, pretty standard.
I wouldn't say standard, but it's out of our control. Like, it's just something that LUPs are managed by the Ministry of Natural Resources, and we just do as they tell us they're going to do.
Is that the one on Allen Lake, Holly?
No.
No?
That one, no.
And basically, Councillor Bongo, the municipality is a collection agency for the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forests on this land type. And as Holly indicated, they don't let us know when they're no longer when it's no longer for us to collect funds on their behalf. So
it's actually the other way around. We
Oh.
we send all of the MNR taxes to the MNR, and then they collect based on LUP fees
okay.
from the users. So we just send like a large number of tax bills to the MNR, and then they pay them, some of them individually, some of them in bulk.
Okay, thank you for that clarification, Holly. All
And-
right.
And just last question. So that piece of land will not, like, it's not being used by anyone at this point. Is that right?
Yeah, it just goes back to Crown. So similar to there's a piece of property between your lodge and the park. It was determined that it was no longer needed by the user. It just goes back to a piece of Crown land. It's no longer a parcel.
Great.
Any further questions into this report?
I know one interesting fact about LUPs that the rest of the council may not be. The land use permit fees are based on the value of the vacant land. So it doesn't really mean anything what is on that land. It doesn't increase the value of it as far as taxation is concerned.
That's a good point, Councillor Florent, because I'm aware of some LUPs that are quite elaborately housing on their LUPs. So it's interesting comment.
Our archery club is using an LUP. That's why I know the facts on it. And the increase has risen dramatically in the last 7 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm. I agree with
So
that.
I just have a question about that. So MPAC values those properties. So are you sure that MNR isn't paying the value and you're just paying based on MNR's formula? I'll look into that because I know that MPAC does value them. So I would assume that they're valuing them the same as everyone else, but I can.
That's a good point. That clarification would be interesting to hear, Holly. So thank you. Any other comments on this report? Hearing none, then Holly will go ahead to your report. Thank you.
My report is just a general report this time. So I did hear back from both Yakubuski's office and the advisor that I'm working with at Infrastructure Ontario, and they have said that they will carry on with a discussion and let us know where that goes with regard to the Lyle landfill transfer. The radio tower, if you recall a few years ago, we talked about that radio tower quite extensively. It's changed hands again. So the fees are not going to change, but the person we're doing business with is. We've included the bylaws and the policies that we've been creating related to COVID, and that'll be passed later in the meeting or discussed. I just put a little information in there about the community safety well-being plan. So we did very well with our responses to those surveys, and the consultant is in the process of looking at the data. She said just a brief review. She has some good information for South Algonquin, so we're looking forward to getting that back. I did reach out to the Algonquin team, the negotiation team, as well as the local Whitney and area Algonquins, to talk a little bit more about the things that we talked about in that December 12th meeting, just regarding specific parcels and some of the things that are in our official plan and our zoning bylaw that we just want to make sure that they're aware of. We did, as directed by council, we submitted the application for the COVID relief fund was submitted for the trestle. And you can see I've given you a little bit of information on insurance. I think anybody who's, I'm reading everywhere that insurance across the board, businesses, everyone's going up. So we'll see. I think that's kind of, I don't know if anyone recalls at Roma a few years back, the provincial government said some things about insurance. So maybe that's what's coming back around. And we did submit a South Algonquin specific set of comments on the supplemental report to the ER. So that was, where we knew there were trails or where we knew there was conflicts with the official plan or the zoning bylaw. We've made them aware of that, and hopefully that'll come back through that discussion that we've asked to have. Brian has submitted our 2020 information to EMO, and his local rep has said that it's accepted and he's pushed it up the chain for approval. We do have to set a couple meetings. The fire chief has 3 reports that he would like to present to you guys. 2 are related to budget, and I can't recall the 3rd right now, but we thought we could just hold a committee meeting to do that. We'll give you that package in advance. And then also we've excuse me, we've talked a few times this morning about the need for an economic development meeting. So I don't know right now. We have 2 weeks left in January. Carla and I usually spend most of our time the Wednesday before a council meeting putting the package together. So if you guys are interested in having a committee meeting next Wednesday, we can do that. But I will warn you that there probably won't be much effort put into a package in that it's 1 week away. But we can definitely discuss some of those items that we talked about and put an agenda together. And like I said, I thought we could roll it in with an EMS meeting. Those reports that the fire chief has prepared are ready to go. So are people available on the 20th?
Holly, could we do the 2 meetings that day then?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. I just wasn't saying it very well.
Well, no, I think you were, but sometimes that doesn't mesh. So just perfectly fine to it's important to get the reports back from the chief and deal with those. And the economic development, Councillor Bongo is the chair, but I certainly think that the presentation from Saba should be discussed further by council. So I would add that to the agenda, And I'm fine for January 20th. That works perfectly for me. So other members of council, could you confirm if it works? If Councillor Collins, is that okay for you?
Sorry. Absolutely, it's fine. Yeah.
At 9 o'clock, Holly?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're fine with it, Sandra. Councillor Florent?
Yes.
Councillor Harper? Dave must be, anyway.
I'm muted. I'm sorry. Yes, no problem.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Councillor Bongo?
Yes, 9 o'clock on Wednesday. Yes, a week from today.
And you're good as chair for the Economic Development Committee meeting that day as well. Good.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Councillor Shala?
Yes.
And Councillor Amir?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you. That's excellent.
And maybe just before we move away from my my report, I just wanted to just give a little update. I'm sure everyone heard the information that was provided by Mr. Ford yesterday. It is kind of trickling down. Usually what happens is he makes an announcement and then they set out kind of a set of guidelines from the ministry, and then the local clerks are set to meet later this afternoon to talk about what that means for us. There was some misinformation yesterday that was my fault. I had sent I had to work from home yesterday because my son's at home, and I sent a text to Tracy regarding the rinks being closed, and she got proactive and put a sign up at the rink that indicated that it would be closing tomorrow. We don't really know that right now. We are definitely getting direction from from the health unit that there will be no more hockey. Or no more sports at all. But it looks in the literature that it could potentially be that the rinks can stay open. There might be further restrictions on numbers, but we're going to go through that as staff this afternoon and figure those things out. In addition to that, we don't see much changing. We've already closed the reuse areas at the landfill. We're going to go back. They're suggesting that we're going back to what we were doing last March. So as of tomorrow, we will have one staff in the office with the exception of when Dave and Carla are here, they'll be here together because obviously they're a bubble. But aside from that, we'll just have one of us in at a time. The rest of us will be working from home through the VPN that we've set up last March, and we'll go forward that way for these next 28 days. Dave has already put changes to the schedule to reduce the number of truck drivers per vehicle, and to, you know, as you've seen in the documentation that we gave you, all of those processes are continuing. So we'll take a good look this afternoon at other things that we need to consider. I think the libraries are maybe considering continuing curbside pickup, but again, we'll go through those details this afternoon. So does anybody have any specific items related to COVID that you would like us to consider, or any questions?
I have more of a statement than a question. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think if we close the rinks, and it would be sad if we have to do that, I think we need to be aware that the staff still need to maintain them, because if we come out of these emergency measures 14 days or 28 days from now, we still have some of the winter left where people will want to go and do some exercise. And if we don't have staff maintaining that ice, that won't be possible 28 days from now. So even if we do have to close them, and I hope we don't, I think we should still have the staff there, maybe an hour a day or for as long as it takes to maintain the ice. Because otherwise we've thrown away everything. And 28 days from now, when hopefully things are improving and lifting, there won't be any ice there for us to reopen those rinks. Just something to bear in mind.
Thank you. Does anyone else have a comment?
I have
Holly?
one.
Oh, go ahead, Richard.
Holly, I've been to the rink a few times, and just to see what was going on with COVID, and I noticed that they're wearing their masks inside the building, but when they're out on the ice, I'm just wondering if there was maybe a larger or a reminder sign right at the gate where they go out. Because the last time I was there, I believe there was a group of 3 together and 3 or 4 groups of 2 each, but there certainly was no 6-foot distancing. So I'm just wondering if it's likely hard to control. They certainly weren't wearing masks on the ice, and I guess you don't have to. And but I just think that the distancing and I've been around rinks for years, and I know how we like to mingle and whatever. And I just think it was just a bit too close, and I don't want to create a big fuss over it, but I think it's something that needs attention. And anyway, that's really all I have to say.
Thank you, Richard. Holly, I have a thought too. There are individuals in both Whitney and Madawaska that are I would say monitoring our snowmobile parking in both areas. And since the Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Clubs have not opened the trails, they're not being groomed. I put it to council, should we be considering closing those in some way? Because we do have people from out of the area, at least we did this past weekend, coming in and snowmobiling in South Algonquin. And I don't know how you close down a large parking area like that, but maybe we need to get back to the Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Clubs and have them put it out there that parking areas for snowmobiling in areas is closed as well. What does any thoughts on that?
I have some thoughts. I observed the groomer on the trail yesterday in the Wilno area. So I don't know if our trails are being groomed, but some of them certainly are. And I think there's other activities that people could come to our community and use that parking for besides the snowmobile trails. I know that's why we created them, but I see them used a lot in the summertime as well. So.
That's fair. Just a thought, because they are coming in from out of town and snowmobiling. So, and I mean, they're large areas. How do you close them down? They're quite large. And the fact that we don't have much snow, sometimes if you let snow accumulate, it basically closes them down. But certainly we're not in that situation. So just putting it out there, Holly, if you're looking through things and something pops out, otherwise I know that our monitors will continue to monitor that situation.
Mayor,
Thanks.
Richard here. I believe the parking lots in Whitney, they certainly took the clutter away from the dam where the fire department has to get in, but also I think they're used, and I know there were new restrictions and whatever, and we want to reduce the number of people traveling from possibly the hotspots in the province, but I believe a lot of some of the parking in our community is from residents that have cottages down the river and elsewhere in the township. So I think it's important that we have those.
Okay, that's fine. Just wanted to put it out there. So that's fine by me. Okay.
Mayor, can I
yes.
add to that, please? I do believe that the snowmobile clubs are going to continue grooming if we get some snow, the same as the rink, because if they don't, when the state of emergency is lifted, they won't be able to use the trails. And we're still looking at a month, 6 weeks after the emergency has been lifted, and hopefully it is. So I do believe that they're going to go ahead and still groom. They are grooming the B trail, most definitely. So I think we need to keep those maintained, if not brilliantly open, so that they can be used at middle to end of February, if indeed things do improve. They're also saying, the snowmobile clubs, stay within your health district, stay within your area. So they're not advocating having people coming from outside. I think we need to be aware of that.
Thank you, Councillor Collins. And I really appreciate your optimism in regards to COVID. I certainly don't share it, but I hope you are right and I am wrong. So thank you. Holly, the other, did you want to say anything in regards to the library report? We did receive that, and it's good to see that, you know, there's good activity happening in the libraries during this time as well. So anything you wanted to mention there? A lot of good work getting done there, and looks like memberships are increasing and books going out are still going out. So that's very, very good to hear.
Yeah, and I've been corresponding a little bit with them. I just saw some emails come in now, so I'll keep doing that. And they were getting ready for a January 5th opening, and that's been delayed a little bit, but we'll be ready when we get back to that point again. So
good. Thank you. Anything else, Holly? So Dave, we're going to be on to your report next.
Sorry, I have a couple questions, if that's okay.
I'm sorry, Bongo. Go ahead.
Sure. One question with regards to the Lyell landfill site. So are we at a situation where the terms of the purchase are being renegotiated? Is that sort of what's come up at this point?
Am I muted? No. I mean, so the terms of the purchase were, as I've told you before, the current valued assessment. So I have given the information that I gave to you to Yakubuski's office, and suggested that at the beginning of this conversation, the intention was that it would be transferred to us without a fee. So that's what we're asking for. Whether we get that, I'm not sure, but that's what we're asking for at this point. So
okay,
it's just been elevated above staff to the ministry level.
Okay, and then when they respond with, yes, you have to pay up, we'll just have that discussion when that time comes, right?
Yeah, and we have money in reserves if that's where we get to. Yeah.
Gotcha. And my other question was, in the report, it said you were going to present something about the website. I don't know if you wanted to do that or not.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you for that.
All right, I was looking forward.
You know, when there's something in the back of your head that you know you're forgetting. Yes. Actually, okay, so I'm just going to kind of quickly go through this. So I don't know how it looks for you guys. Is it just look like a picture at the top right now?
Yes.
So I'll just give you some of the key changes or the key differences. So the platform that our old website was on was fairly old and fairly difficult to change. So what we've gone to with this one is just this will be our home page, and you can see there's some information, just some general information here about South Algonquin. Oh, sorry. From there, we've gone forward just into residents and government. So residents, we've tried to break out into these 4 sections that are specific to what residents could be looking for. And then beyond that, we will have government. So we have administration, building, council, emergency management, finance, fire, planning, property taxes, transportation, and waste collection. So each of these then have their own sections that specifically describe what South Algonquin does for those areas. So for example, we've put information on now about the integrity commissioner. So who is our integrity commissioner? Why do we have an integrity commissioner? All of that information in plain language. So that I think before, kind of the website that we had before didn't have any descriptors. It was a lot of links to documents. So I'll just give you, I'll just use the integrity commissioner as an example. Sorry, this is difficult because I'm bouncing you guys around. So you can see it's kind of gives the summary and what an integrity commissioner does and who ours is. So it just gives the public an understanding of, yes, we're following the rules, and yes, these are this is your ability to use that system if you choose. Further to that, if I go in here, transportation, we've included some sections on the transportation program that we run, construction projects, what an entrance permit is and when you need one. So you can see we've given this little bit of verbiage, and then if you need an entrance policy, here's the link to it. So we've done a lot of work to try to take the information that we give to the public every day, usually over the phone or through emails. We've done our best to try to make it so that they can find things on their own, or that we're describing the things that we're trying to do. With the hope that both residents, future residents, and potentially visitors can come here and see all the things that we're doing. So I think we're pretty close to getting it live. The other thing which is a big change is this is all as of January 2021. All municipal websites need to be AOD compliant. So this little tab over here shows you the tools. So you can increase the text size, decrease the text size. You can show it in grayscale, high contrast, negative contrast, light background. You can underline the links. And so those are all different things that people can do in order to be able to better see or use our website. So that's a nice function. And I'll just do this one. No, sorry, this one. So you can see that drastically changes the website. Or if you want to take the color out of it, you can do that as well.
Holly, can I ask a question? Is there any mention of our health unit on there? I couldn't find it and wasn't sure if it was something that ought to be there, but people often look for health within a township. Who is offering?
So it's not on here quite yet. But I did include I included a summary that I wrote that explains DSAB and the health unit and where we are as far as being part of Nipissing District, and there's a little bit about OPP and how we we contract our services to the OPP. And then there's also reference to things like the MNRF. So if you're having a bear problem or those kind of things. So we have tried to do that, but like I said, it's not on here quite yet. But yes, we did. So we do explain that we are part of the Renfrew County and District Health Unit, and that Champlain Lynn is our local health provider. So yeah, we put that all in. We've also done this little how do I, so you can see here, here's a list of questions that or residents might have, and they can click through that and find out the information that they need. So most of that is pulled from here. It just gives people a different way to get to it.
And access to the hospital, access to the emerge and things like that. People need to know those things, and out of hours, they would go to a website rather than pick up a phone.
Right, yeah.
Especially people are very concerned about COVID symptoms, testing. It's come to the forefront, obviously, at the moment. I think we would be very remiss to not have something like that on our website.
And Holly,
right, yeah. So we do have that, and we also have a link, a page of links. So which was on our former website. I just don't know if it was maybe not super accessible or didn't show up as much, but we are moving it over. So that includes things like anyone who has contacted us who's a business owner who has a website. We put it on that list of links. So that will be pulled over as well. So yeah, we're calling that, I believe we're calling that Around South Algonquin. Yeah.
Holly, if I could just build on Sandra's comments, I think it's really important that, this website be as easy for everybody. And I think it's important that the Renfrew County and District Health Unit have a prominent tab or somewhere that it's very evident that you click on that and you'll get into, their website and all the, like even today, if you went to it, you would get the current information in regards to COVID within Renfrew County, Ontario, etc. And another thing that's happening out in the community, just so that, and I just have been approached about this actually yesterday, but we have a circle of health within our area, and that means all the services within the Madawaska Valley, available to members of our community. Each organization has in the past been putting an article in the local papers once a month describing their services and stuff, and they will be asking all the municipalities within their area if they down the road could have access to put that on our website somewhere, so that every month, anybody that looks at our website can get information on a health service within the Madawaska Valley that provides services to the community of South Algonquin as well. So just so that we have that flexibility, that vibrancy to this webpage to accommodate those types of things.
Great. Yes, so I think when you're saying that, you can see here on the side, we have this current fire status. I would suggest that there's probably something similar to that with our the health unit, as well as what you're suggesting with the circle of health.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions or anything else you want to see before we navigate away from this?
I suppose this isn't the last time that we'll be able to view this draft of the website, correct?
I think that we're going to try to go live with it sooner than later. If you wanted to do a thorough review, we're going to continue to do reviews because there's, making sure links are happening, or making sure that everything we intended to go on there is on there. I guess that's a good question. Does council want to do a thorough in-house review prior to letting it go live, or are you okay with us letting it go live and continuing to improve it through 2021?
I think, Holly, if we as council members and users, want to be positive advocates for this, I certainly would appreciate looking at it before it goes live. I don't know, whatever that means, an hour-long meeting or something, just so that even we as users could get the opportunity to play with it and see if we find it. You know, for myself, I'm not a technological person, so I certainly would appreciate that.
Okay.
Other members of council interested in doing that?
I agree. I would like to look at it from what I would possibly want to access from it, but also what I think that the people that I represent from outside the township that have a property here but don't live here and maybe don't have an opportunity to comment. So I would like to look at it from that standpoint also.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you can just.
Sorry, I was going to say I think it would be great for council to see a draft, and then Holly, like you mentioned, I'm sure throughout 2021 we'll also get various different feedback. And as everybody knows, websites are constantly evolving, so it sounds like we'll get something great as a start, and then it'll evolve as it needs to evolve as time goes on. So yeah, that looks great. Thanks, staff, for putting that all together.
Okay, all right. So Holly, anything else from you then? Thank you for that.
I just muted myself because my phone's ringing in my office. No, I'm fine. Go ahead.
Okay, so we'll go to Dave's report, Public Works Department and Operations. Oh, yes, go ahead, sorry.
Thank you.
You can bring it up.
Yeah, so just an update. Staff was able to complete some mandatory recertification training in December successfully. We've had an opportunity to utilize the third tandem and the other full-time person this year to improve service. We've been able to respond quicker. You know, it's also separated guys in trucks, which has helped with our COVID strategy. And with a little bit of a break in the weather, we got into recalibrating the newer trucks, the electronics on the sand spreaders. There was some setting issues with the frequency on the valves, which we dug into and fixed, and they're spreading very, very consistently now. I don't know if anyone pays much attention to that, but it's been a big improvement for us, and it's going to help with sand usage. The excavator was able to do a small brushing project in December. The weather was agreeable, so we brushed a couple of lane kilometers of Macaulay Lake Road that really needed it before the weather set in. I think we've spoke enough about rinks, so I'll skip over that one. Some of the agreements for our boat launches became due December 31st. So we've been communicating with M&R staff in Bancroft to get new agreements. There's not a concern, but I don't think getting them to us is a huge priority under the current conditions, but we do anticipate seeing some agreements you know, later this winter. That would be the Bark Lake boat launch, Hay Lake boat launch, Cross Lake boat launch, Macaulay Lake boat launch, and Mackenzie Lake boat launch are affected by those. And I did send them a reminder at the same time that we're still looking for an answer about using the former Allen Lake landfill site as a boat storage for the residents there. Nothing back from them yet, though.
Dave, it's Jane. In regard to the boat launches, you know, we've heard from Councillor Harper, et cetera, about the fact that we do all the maintenance and don't get any fees from MNRF in regards to that. Will that be part of the conversation?
It could be. At this point, I'm dealing with the planner and trying to get the paperwork back in our hands.
Okay.
The agreements are not LUPs and they're not MOUs. They're kind of unique agreements that I guess the township received. So it'll be interesting to see how they're rewritten. Basically gives us permission to do our regular maintenance and you know, monitor and control those boat launches. So
I think I can just add to that a little bit. So that the ministry that we're trying to renew the agreements with is MNRF. And I think the ministry that we're concerned about the usage is MECP for the places where there are access points. MNRF, I think we do need to probably talk in the near future about some kind of delegation or conversation with the Ministry of Natural Resources about Crown land camping, because I think that's who is using, when we talk about Bark Lake specifically, that's who's using that boat launch, is the Crown land campers. So I think right now those agreements say that we won't allow the public, or we won't restrict public access. So I guess the question to the MNR is, if they're not going to manage Crown land camping, are we going to be obligated to provide parking? And how do we give parking to our residents over Crown land campers? So it is definitely, we know it's an issue, but I think it's two different ministries, and I'm not sure that the Ministry of Natural Resources is in the business right now of doing anything with Crown land camping, it seems.
And just how long are those land, like what is the duration of the approval when we get it, Dave? Like, is it for 5 years or is it a very long term?
Yeah, I think the last one was 10 years.
Yeah.
I think a long-term agreement would be in our best interest.
You're right, as long as it met the criteria that we want, that's for sure. So just
Right.
things to keep in mind, and any time that it needs to come back to council, we'd be more than happy to give feedback for sure.
You know, just to let you know a little bit about the discussion, they actually had asked if we needed the agreements, or we were just satisfied with our shoreline road allowance, our 66 feet. So I reviewed them and let them know clearly that the facilities go well beyond that, and Crown land camping is an issue not just at Bark Lake, but it's an issue at Hay Lake as well. There's quite a bit happening in there. So being able to enforce our bylaws is important part of this agreement.
Absolutely, and the environment from 10 years ago is very different for the usage of those areas today, 10 years later. So I think it has to be vibrant to what the situation is currently, for sure.
I think that the Crown land camping is going to do nothing but increase, actually. So,
yeah.
Particularly where people are looking to get away from cities.
Good, thank you.
Just moving on to capital projects, if that's okay. Hay Creek Road, we've received 2 engineering proposals, and we're waiting for a third, and they are good numbers within the budget that we had included for in 2020. So they'll be carrying into 2021, or we'll be proposing to carry them into 2021. The road needs study. I have, again, the same 3 firms are interested in quoting or coming up with a proposal. We were just working on scope. So in order to narrow it down, basically they all would include an inventory manual. I don't know if everyone is familiar. Everyone's probably not familiar with the last one. It was done in 2005. But it's basically an inventory of our roads and their conditions, and it would create priority based on, for capital replacement based on a level of service it provides and its existing condition, and then also give us budgets for those repairs. We did get into discussions about the sign survey, and they all are in agreement that they would like to identify the areas of most concern rather than doing the entire road system, which I think would work. And for the straight sections, or where we don't have concerns, we would just use the book 5 and assess our own signs through there, because they do need to narrow it down a little bit, or it becomes a little bit laborsome. And the other thing they have asked me for is to identify roads for traffic counts, again, to be a little more efficient with our costs. And that specific would mean, say the Mackenzie Lake system, we would look at the main Mackenzie Lake Road and maybe the North Road, but not all of the little roads that come off of those, because the traffic counts on the main roads would give us a good idea of the interior roads. Our new single axle truck, there is a resolution to accept it. I've been told there's tremendous delays getting vehicles built right now. The fire truck that I think the tender closed back in August, I was informed was just picked up to be built by Ford about 2 weeks ago. So we're looking at this point in time of not receiving that truck until the fall, and that's delays across the board. That's what's happening in the industry at the moment. And then finally, I had a general quick look at the costs associated with expanding winter service to Shields Road for discussion, and we can bring that to an asset management meeting or to a budget meeting, and council can decide which way they would like to go with that. That's about all I have. I'd like to ask any questions or talk about anything.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Councillor Florent, go ahead.
Okay, I did a little bit of research into the Shields Road situation. I don't know if it's appropriate to include it or add it now. Because certainly I think we should be having a asset management meeting, waste meeting sometime February or March, sometime before the budget is passed, because if we're going to do this work, it has to be included in the 2021 budget. My research is on the number of properties and the size of the assessment in comparison to some other roads in the township. And I just want to clarify Shields Road a little bit. It's not that we would be adding that to our road system, because it's already in our road system. It was in the road system of the Allen Lake Local Roads Board when we took it over. It was like a project in process, similar to Pastoral Lake Road, where it got some maintenance, but not the same level as the other roads. It's not like we're adding a new road. It's a road that's already in the system.
Okay. Is that it then, Joe? Thank you.
I can give you that information now on the assessment of that, or if we're going to schedule an asset management meeting, I'll just hold off and do it then.
I think that would be good, Joe, and we can, I think we could go ahead and book a meeting for February or March.
Sure.
Thank you. And Councillor Shalley, you had a comment?
Yes, I slipped up a little bit, I think, when we were talking about our previous meetings and the asset management meeting, and in regards to Hay Lake Road. When we discussed it at the previous meeting, I think it was left in the air a bit as to whether the township was going to do it or was going to be contracted out. And it almost seemed like, and I'm not sure whether we're going to hopefully we're going to come back to that, whether there was any business arising from. But anyway, and it's kind of related to this here, is the capital projects. And I may be wrong, but I thought we talked about two things: whether we were going to do it in-house without engineered drawings, or we were going to do it with engineered drawings. And I believe Dave suggested we would do it with have engineered drawings, and they would be part of our budget for this year, so that the work could be done possibly the following year. So anyway, I'm just wondering, Dave, can you clarify that?
Yeah, my understanding was that we were going to look at it in-house. I think whether we did engineered drawings or not was still up in the air, just doing it as a resurfacing project. I don't really, I mean, the road is not that sophisticated, so it could just be simply resurfaced with the culverts replaced. I was going to prepare budget numbers to bring to an asset management meeting for a possible capital project, maybe as early as for the 2021 year.
Okay, excellent, because I fully agree. I believe there's only 2 culverts and maybe 3 that at the most, the others have all been replaced just recently within the last 10 years. So there may not even be 3. So, and I fully agree. And I think I mentioned before, it's almost a shame. It's almost a waste of money if we didn't need an engineered report or drawings when we use your expertise to do it. So anyway, good. As long as it's going to be in there, or we're going to be discussing it or whatever, so that I just wanted to clarify and go from there. And maybe if it isn't too late, it likely is, but to get it in the asset management minutes, which I slipped up. I had a note made here, but I just overlooked it. So anyway, good. I'm looking forward to the work and anyway, and future discussions.
I have a question for Dave, if I may.
Go ahead, Councillor Collins.
I didn't really want to Shanghai you at this meeting, Dave, because that's not my way. But for a couple of years now in the budget, there has been an application, and I know this is the case because I've seen it, to do something about the underground tank for the fire department and the rink. That underground tank is a health and safety issue with regards to the guys having to lift the concrete lid to actually see how much water is in there. It seems a very stupid way of monitoring water into a tank. We do not have a ball valve or a cistern or even a float switch on that. I believe it was fitted with one many, many years ago, and because it failed, it was just taken out of the system. And many years on the budget, it has been put back in. And I was quite horrified to find that that actually still hasn't been done. And guys are trying to lift that concrete lid when it can be icy and dangerous. And I think we need to address that sooner rather than later.
I would just like to interject because I have been managing the budget for 4 years and I've never seen that come across my desk. So I'm not sure what version of the budget that you're seeing it in, but I would like to see that version.
I believed it had come through Chief Tom. He'd asked for it to have been looked at several years running.
So I would like to see where that's been asked for, because like I said, if you're bringing up a health and safety concern and I've been here 4 years and I haven't seen it, I would like to see where that's been requested.
Okay, I'll have to get back to him. I think
Thank you.
maybe Councillor Florent, you know about this too, don't you?
I
Possibly
do.
more than me.
I do. I don't think there's a icy situation because it's inside the heated building. So, but it is the weight of the lid is a hazard, and there's no grid across the hole, which there should have been. So somebody could possibly slip into it. When it was originally built, there was a float switch on it, and to fill it, and the float switch failed. So in 2000. So we just didn't use it. We used it from that time on. After it failed, we used a visual inspection to determine how much water was in the tank. In 2010, when the new community hall was built, the whole area was replumbed, and all that mechanism for the automatic fill up and the gauge disappeared at that time. And when it was replumbed rather, that part was missing. So it was probably way back, Holly, in 2011 or so when it would have been mentioned in a fire report. So I agree with Councillor Collins. It is a hazard. I don't think it's that difficult a hazard to fix. I think a simple ball valve mechanism to determine the level of water in the tank should be a very simple installation. It doesn't have to be connected with actually filling the tank, which the original one did. And it was that part of it that failed. There was a a control valve that was supposed to shut off the water supply when the tank was full, and then the ball valve, when it was actually floating, it would activate the switch. There was a lot of concern because it didn't shut off 100%. It shut off about 99.5%. But if somebody wasn't in that building on a fairly regular basis, we were concerned that it would just continuously flow and flood the whole system and flood everything, all the electronics and everything out.
So something just visual, a visual sight stick or something like that would be adequate, I'm sure. But they shouldn't be lifting that big concrete tank lid up just to see if there's any water in there. It just seems crazy to me.
I'd like to make a comment, and I have the floor at this point. Thank you. I can understand Holly's dismay that she's not been made aware of this, and every member of council, every staff member in the Township of South Algonquin have an obligation to report a health and safety issue as soon as they know about it. And to bring this up at a council meeting for a situation that's been going on and awareness has been there for a long period of time, I have to say I'm very disappointed. And I think it puts all of us under not carrying out our due diligence. So I'm going to park that. I would like that to be brought to Holly as soon as possible. I'd like to see the documentation that's been mentioned, and it's in Holly's ballpark now, and there will be something done about it. And I propose at this point to carry on in the agenda.
I'd just like to bring one more thing forward for information of council. That tank is actually it was designed for septic. It's a 3,000 gallons. So the lid on it is the same as a lid on a standard septic tank. So they are lifted all the time, especially by the people that pump septic tanks. So I don't think it's a violation or anything. It's just, it's not convenient.
Well, to make comments in a public forum about a health and safety issue that's been going on for years, or perceived health and safety issue going on for years, I have to say is disappointing. And thank you for the history. It's much appreciated. Any other questions to Dave? All right. Are there
Dave,
any?
Yes, Dave, you mentioned calibrating the sand, but I've noticed that the plows this year must have been recalibrated also, and maybe a number of times, or maybe it's the rubber blade or whatever, but they certainly are scraping it down much better than other seasons, and whatever's going on there is excellent.
We did, once the roads froze, we switched to the rubber blade, which removes a lot more material, and we've also tipped them up with the frozen road conditions, so it's working much better.
Anyway, I noticed there's a difference. So anyway, thanks.
Thank you for that feedback. Are there any councillor reports? All right, so we're at number 8 in the agenda, business arising from the minutes.
I have one.
Go ahead, Councillor Florent.
It's the emergency services meeting of November the 25th. In the staff report from Chief Kruger. I don't know if Chief Kruger is in attendance today or not, but in his analysis of the proposal for this new bylaw that's on the agenda for today, it includes campfires. Now, just because it says campfires in the analysis doesn't really mean that it includes campfires in the bylaw. I'm concerned that if it does, we're creating more of a problem than we're fixing, because I've seen some other mention today of thousands of acres of crown land in our township. I would suggest that we have hundreds of thousands of acres of crown land, and it would be too much of a task to ask our fire department to monitor every campfire in 100,000 acres. I would understand if campfires were included in other townships bylaws, townships that would be mostly patented land, but our township has so much crown land and so many lakes. So every lake conceivably could have a campfire at the same time in the township. Like traditionally, campfires have been exempt from burn permits. because they're deemed to be for heating or warmth. I'm curious if this bylaw is going to include campfires or just the status quo of what we had before, except a new permit system.
Chief
Mayor
Kruger
Dumas?
is not on the call. I would suggest that if you have if you have a question like that, that we just defer that bylaw to the EMS meeting that we're having next week, and then we could put that back on the agenda for the February council meeting if everyone's in agreement with that.
Mayor Dumas?
Go ahead, Councillor Harper.
I have the same concerns as Joe has, Councillor Florent. Credibility is one of them within the township. For unknown number of years, we have never required a burning permit to toast a marshmallow or hot dog. I can't see that happening. I don't think it's required. I don't think there's been that many problems with the system we've got. And we're just creating a lot of hassle for our residents, and it only includes our residents. As Joe points out, there's a lot of Crown land, and also the park is another one. We're going to be the only people in the country that require burning permits for campfires. All around us, they don't, or they won't have them anyways. Well, I'd like to talk to it about when we have the next meeting. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Councillor Harper and Councillor Florent. And Holly, I think I appreciate your suggestion, and I think we will table that bylaw and bring it back for further discussion at the EMS meeting. So we'll go forward with that. Thank you for that feedback. Any further business arising from the minutes?
We in the waste management meeting. Just a second here. Page. We talked about sending a letter to the business regarding the items that are placed in the garbage bins that should basically be disposed of in the demolition area. Has that letter been sent out, or is that something we're going to be working on before spring operation, or can you update us, Dave?
And no letter has been sent at this point in time. I was thinking more of a spring thing. I thought we sort of needed to maybe to refine that a little bit.
That's what I thought also, but I just wanted to clarify, and because I was wondering if the letter had been sent, or our staff monitoring what's going in and out, because I think it was a good idea, and we just manage our waste much better. That's all.
I saw it as kind of part and parcel with a revision to the bylaw.
Okay, so that's pending. Okay, thank you. Any other business arising from minutes? Hearing none. Any unfinished business?
Could we set a date for that asset management meeting? Or no, I guess the fire one will be at the meeting that we've already scheduled, right?
Yes. But
we can go ahead and set the February committee meeting.
Yeah.
If you guys are okay with probably February 17th.
That works for me. That's excellent.
So we'll do a waste asset management meeting that day.
Sure.
Is that agreeable with the chairs?
Yes, it is with me.
Okay, Richard, you're fine?
February 17th?
Yes.
Waste and asset management?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
Okay,
9
very good. 9 a.m. Okay, thank you, Holly. Great. All right, so we're at, I did unfinished business, right? Okay, so we're at number 10 in the agenda, correspondence, the action item. The item there was from our Member of Parliament, Cheryl Gallant, in regards to our funding for the Canada Summer Jobs Program. Any comments on that? And then we had information items. And those are, okay, where are we, Holly? we're at it, yes. Information items. Which one is this? Okay, great, thank you.
Sorry about that. That was a lot of jumping around.
That's okay. So that is comments on the first item, that's the extension of the community safety and well-being plan completion in regards to COVID. We have a notice from Bancroft Minden Forest in regards to the 2021-2031 forest management plan. And that is in review currently at that time. So if you want to comment on that, I think the period of consultation ends in I think it's starting soon and ending in, it's starting soon. So if you want to comment, you can go to the MNRF website and see that. The update received on COVID vaccine distribution, the task force. There's information in there as to the rollout of that plan. I don't know if there's any comments on that. Hearing none. And the MNRF is the last one is a short-term forest management plan extension for the Bancroft Minden Forest. So any comments on those? Hearing none. The next item on the agenda is any new business? Hearing none. Notice of motions. Are there any notice? Oh, so go ahead, Holly. I'll let you finish and get out of there.
I'll go back here.
Okay, go back to your agenda. All right. Are there any notice of motions of council?
Yes, Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead, Councillor Bongo. Sure
thing. I would like to formally propose a notice of motion for the township to adopt an official social media engagement strategy or policy. I know that a lot of different people, both on council and staff, have differing opinions about social media and its usefulness and the role that it plays. In my motion, I'd like to recommend that we allow comments on our live stream YouTube videos, that we somehow incorporate a step where we can nominate bits of information that come up in meetings that would then be scheduled to be posted on some kind of a routine schedule in our social media routine, that the forthcoming economic development intern, that maybe around 25% of that person's time is dedicated to social media engagement, and that we explore using software such as Hootsuite to help manage our social media communications. And I totally understand that this would probably be discussed at a committee meeting, but nevertheless, I just wanted to throw this out there.
Thank you, Councillor Bongo. That, I think, what you're suggesting is something that would need fulsome conversation and perhaps some investigation as well. So I would respectfully suggest to you that we take this back to the Economic Development Committee and have some of this dialogue at that committee level, and then decide on a plan as how you would like to go forward with that.
Great.
Would that be acceptable?
I think so.
Okay, fair enough. So we've gotten your notice of motion, and what we will do at this point is take it back to committee for discussion and further investigation into that process. All right.
Can I
go
just
ahead,
ask one question? Bongo, you have mentioned comments on the YouTube video. So I'd just like to clarify that, because I think that right now anyone can comment on the YouTube video. I've seen comments there in the past. So what are you proposing further to that?
Yeah, I'll check all the videos. There's the ones that I've seen, it just says that comments are closed. By default, most YouTube videos that you see, there's just a section where you can just add comments. Similar to how, sorry, go ahead.
So what would be the benefit of that? Because I think my message to people is if they have some issue with something that's happening at council, they should be either contacting their local councillor or contacting the office directly. So I wonder if allowing people to make comments on our YouTube video is going to create another place for staff or council to go to look for input.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see your point there. Essentially, I think it'll improve our searchability and our engagement overall. I think, you know, I want our meetings to be as transparent and as public as possible, and I think that it helps our analytics if that engagement appears on the YouTube videos. Yes, I do agree that, you know, there is a formal process for us to accept feedback from the public. But ultimately, you know, I think just allowing comments on the YouTube video, to me, that's an open public forum. And I really don't see how it hurt.
Okay.
And
so,
yeah,
just so you know, I'm not restricting them right now. I went and put a comment on there today. It says you can chat. So I assume you can chat. I don't think that anybody is going to respond to that chat. But yeah, maybe just take a look and see if it's something just in a setting that I can change. I'll do that. I can do that. I don't have a problem with it. And other than that, we can talk about those other items at a committee meeting.
I think it's very important that this go to the committee to have this type of conversation, because I'm not into, people have my telephone number, they can email me. I have too much work to, anyway, I would want to know what my responsibility as the mayor and a member of this council would be if we make this commitment. So I think we have to have this discussion at a committee meeting level. So again, thank you, Bongo, for bringing it up. Thank you, Holly, for your input. And I think we need to have this discussion at a committee meeting. So perhaps looking at the agenda at the next meeting, we'll have to see how much we can put on that agenda. But thank you very much. Okay, any other comments, motions of council? Hearing none, so we will go into the resolution portion of the council meeting. And what's the first one here? Okay, I have this resolution moved by Councillor Shala, seconded by Councillor Vermeer. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin awards tender SA 2020-10 4x4 cab and chassis truck with dump body and plow to Hunter Ford Sales Limited for $73,349.43, excluding the HST. Calling the vote on that. Is there any discussion? Sorry.
I have one question. Every time we buy a new truck, we buy a new plow for the front of it. Why? Is there something wrong with the existing plow that we need another one?
Yes, the existing plow is completely worn out. We've repaired it numerous times. It's had a new hydraulic pump put in it. The center pin has been replaced several times. The steel is starting to fatigue. Solenoids, harnesses, it's really quite exhausted.
So would the plan be to declare it surplus when we get the new one and then get rid of it?
I would think so, the entire truck with plow, it's all. Yeah.
Okay.
Could I make, yes, I'd like to make a comment. It just seems very vague. Truck body is a truck body, but when it comes to plow, there's various models and styles. I'm just wondering if it shouldn't be, so when people are bidding, they're bidding on an Arctic, for example, or whatever the various models are, whether it's a V plow versus an 8-foot or 10-foot or whatever they are. I'm just wondering in the future if we shouldn't be clarifying that so that we're getting what we want and everybody else that's bidding knows exactly what we want.
It was clarified in the tender. I can make that available if you'd like to look at it. It's basically the replacement of the same plow we have. It's performed very well. It's another V plow, same manufacturer. But it is a foot wider. They've come up with a new version of the same commercial quality plow that we do have. So it's a heavier truck and we'll be able to push a larger plow.
Okay, so the name of the plow would be on your tender and the width and the model. etc.?
Specify.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Right. Any other further discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, I'd call the vote. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
I'm for.
Councillor Bongo,
Or
Councillor Shala,
Or?
Councillor Vermeer.
Or?
It's carried. Thank you.
Counselor Harper, for.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, Councillor Harper.
It's
Thank you.
okay.
Thank
It was
you.
passed.
All right. No, that's good. Thank you. The next resolution, Holly? Oh, that's the bottom of the page, right? So I have this resolution moved by Councillor Bongo, seconded by Councillor Harper. Be it
That's-
where now? Right now.
That's the one that we're deferring, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we're tabling the fire one, so it's this one that's on the screen now.
So we're tabling that and the bylaw when we get to it. Okay, thank you very much. So we're at the next resolution. I have it moved by Councillor Shala, seconded by Councillor Collins. Be it resolved that the Council for the Township of South Algonquin approve the write-off of $411.13 for property tax charged to roll number 4801-020-001-25010-0000. Any discussion? I think we had discussion in the report. Calling the vote, Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
For.
Councillor Harper,
Or.
Councillor Bongo,
or
Councillor Shala. Councillor Shala.
For? For?
Councillor Vermeer,
For?
okay, and Councillor Vermeer,
For?
and that's carried. The next resolution. Okay, had this resolution moved by Councillor Florence, seconded by Councillor Bongo. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin authorizes staff to apply for 2 positions for the Canada Summer Jobs Program. Any discussion? Hearing none, calling the vote. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
For.
Councillor Harper,
Or.
Councillor Bongo,
or
Councillor Shala,
For?
Councillor Vermeer.
For?
It's carried. Okay, somehow we have notice of motions again. We've already dealt with that. Right? Okay, that's a typo, I believe. And
No, it's not. It's not
No?
a typo. This is, for some reason, we have motions
I'm
of council, and then the
Oh.
next one is notice of motion. We just misread it before. It's
okay,
okay.
we've dealt with it though. Okay, and we are tabling this bylaw as well. It's my understanding oh no, this is the pandemic plan. I apologize. All right, so we're at 15, item 15, bylaws, the pandemic plan. And let me see. First and second reading, I had moved by Councillor Vermeer, seconded by Councillor Harper. Being a bylaw to adopt a pandemic plan for the Township of South Algonquin, and that it be read a first and second time and be referred to the Committee of the Whole Council. Call the vote. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
For.
Councillor Harper,
Or.
Councillor Bongo,
or
Councillor Shala,
For?
Councillor Vermeer.
For?
It's carried. The third reading, I have that moved by Councillor Collins, seconded by Councillor Shala. Third reading, being a bylaw to adopt a pandemic plan for the Township of South Algonquin as referred by the Committee of the Whole Council, and that it be read a third time and passed and numbered 21-626, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and the CAO clerk treasurer, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and be entered into the bylaw book. A discussion? Hearing none, calling the vote. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
For.
Councillor Harper,
Four.
Councillor Bongo,
4.
Councillor Shala,
Four.
Councillor Vermeer.
4.
It's carried. Agenda item 16, there is no resolution to move into closed session. Agenda item 17, payment of accounts. I have this resolution moved by Councillor Bongo, seconded by Councillor Florent. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin South Algonquin authorizes the payment of all bills as recorded for the meeting January 13th, 2021, batch 2020-00060 for $21,495.79. Batch 2021-00062 for $130,195.44. Batch 2020-00064 for $9,141.22. Batch 2020-00066 for $10,230.47. Any discussion?
I would like to bring up one thing. We used to get a copy of those, like a printout of those individual, not the bills themselves, but the spreadsheet on the payout. We no longer see that. And I'm not suggesting that it be included in the package because I don't think it's information that the public needs access to, but I think councillors should have access to.
I would leave that to Holly. I sign off on those and I see the spread, I see the front sheet and I see the detail sheets as well. But I would leave that with Holly and Jen to get back to council in regards to that request. Joe?
I can just quickly speak to it. We're going through the modernization process right now. And as you guys know, this is something that was called out in the newspaper a while back in one of our neighboring municipalities. The auditors and the modernization consultant is suggesting that we stop doing this batch resolution. The intention is that the budget is passed early in the year. And if we have a procurement bylaw that says that if staff is going outside of that, or if there's a certain dollar value required, then we'll go for resolution. But this resolution specifically is really unnecessary. So I think through the modernization process, we're probably going to do away with this.
Okay, that's good. So it'll come back for discussion through that modernization process as well.
So then would council then be notified if there was any bills paid that weren't covered in the budget? Because
that's right, and we do that now. So
Okay.
So what we are doing right now is we give you a quarterly report on the budget, and if there's anything like, for example, the truck, a large purchase like that, we would put that on the table for resolution for the bylaw. And if we are going outside of the budget, we will bring that to council specifically, which we do now. But this is really just us saying that we're paying bills like hydro and gas and things that are, routine and in the budget. So really it's not a good use of time to create it or pass it. So I think it will probably go away. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for that feedback. All right. So then I would call the vote on this resolution. Councillor Collins?
4.
Councillor Florent?
4.
Councillor Harper?
4.
Councillor Bongo?
4.
Councillor Shala?
4.
Councillor Vermeer?
4.
And it's carried. All right. The next resolution, 18, adjournment. Okay, I have this resolution moved by Councillor Harper, seconded by Councillor Collins. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin adjourns the regular meeting of January 13th, 2021. I have at 10:51. Calling the vote, Councillor Collins,
4.
Councillor Florent,
4.
Councillor Harper,
4.
Councillor Shala,
4.
Councillor Bongo,
4.
Councillor Vermeer,
4.
Carried. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.